Today I'm going to talk about car. What are the few things that you need to know before spend your money on buying a car? Today in this video, I'm going to share with you all some of the things that you need to know before you buy a car. And these are the few things that you need to know before buying a car. Okay, so let's get started. So when you before you buy a car, first come in your mind how to buy a car is you learn it from your friends and your family. And what did they tell you? Usually they will tell you get a loan and pay for the money installment for that loan to get the car that you want. This is a traditional way. And maybe this is the only way that you know to buy a car. Perhaps. So, and before you need to know that buying a car from a loan, do you know that actually this is a bad debt? Because buying a car actually is a liability, and a liability which depreciates value very fast. Hence, buying a car actually is categorized as owning a car or acquiring a car is categorized as bad debt. So, before you go to the debt, you need to know what is bad debt and what is good debt. I'm not going to talk about good debt this video, but I'm going to talk about bad debt. Maybe I will talk about more about good debt in future. Bad debt is the one who not generating you value, generating you cash. It's a liability. It's a liability. And the liability that such as car loan, hire purchase. So getting a loan to buy a car, to acquire a car, actually is a bad debt. And bad is not good and you should avoid. We should avoid. But the problem is how do we avoid? What should we avoid? There is two ways that you can avoid getting a car loan or paying these bad debts. The first method is instead of use the money paying the down payment and money installment and interest, you accumulate the sum of money. You can pay money. You don't need to pay lump sum. You can pay money to acquire asset. And this asset, what will this asset do? This asset will generate a cash. And you use this cash to purchase whatever you afford to pay, whatever you afford to get from using the cash that generated from the asset. Yeah, you may ask, if I'm using this method, I won't get the dream car that I want. I won't get the luxury car that I want. I will not get a four-wheel drive or sedan car that I like. Yes, it is true because from the asset that from the cash that generated from the asset, the value, you might only able to purchase a car which is mainly for transportation use, for work purpose, for life, or for the things that I need to do in my life. Yes, this is true. Perhaps this is the only way. Or else you can acquire an asset that generate more cash or businesses that generate more cash. And by doing so, you get the dream car that you want, the luxury car that you wish to have, you own, you want. So this is the first method. And the second method is you buy a car using cash. And how do you buy a car using cash? You can either buy a car using cash to purchase your luxury car, the dream car that you have, or the new car that you want, or you can buy a second-hand car, which much more cheaper. Both is the same category, just one is new and one is second-hand. So, of course, if you purchase second-hand car, it will cost you less. The lesser money you need to put in to pay that second-hand. If a new car, you need to pay more and maybe the same price as the market, the new launch market, the market price. So these are the two ways that you can purchase a car. One is get the asset and use the asset to pay for your monthly installment. Second is buy a car using cash. Yes, you might think this is the only limitation is, only drawback of this is you might not able to get the car, the dream car that you want. Yeah, this is definitely true. If you don't like this method, you can just go for the monthly installment. There's no compulsory and it's not necessary that you need to follow my way. This is just a suggestion for me that you want to avoid bad debts. And the things that you need to know about car is, after you acquiring a car, the expenses that you need to pay for the car. So what are the expenses that you need to pay for the car? There are 10 things that you need to pay if you're acquiring a car. The first is the most important one, which is driving license. If you acquire a car, you need driving license, or else you will be illegally driving. So driving license, it depends on the validity of your driving license. If, for example, 5 years, you need to renew every 5 years, and you need to pay for the renewal fees. It's not very expensive, but you need to pay. And it also depends on country. Every country charge different, and depend on your vehicles. Different vehicles, the renewal fee is different. The second is road tax. Every year, you need to pay the road tax for the car we have. And different type of vehicle, the more powerful, the more cc of your vehicles, of your car, the more you need to pay for the road tax. The third thing is insurance. Every year we need to pay insurance, like our life insurance, medical insurance. This is a fixed cost that we need to pay every year. And it's like insurance, you only able to claim for insurance if something happen, accident happen. Yeah. And the fourth thing is maintenance. This can be happen once a year, twice a year, or once in 2 years. So it depends on how frequent you use the car. The more frequent you use, the higher the maintenance that you need to pay. And the fifth thing is parking. When you're acquiring a car, you go somewhere else, when you leave the car, you need to let the car at a place, and this we call parking. And also it depends on where you locate your car at. So when you locate your car in a certain place and you go to do your own thing, your own stuff, you'll be charged for the car that you put there. This is called parking charge, parking fees. So depend on location. If you put your car, it depends on location. If you put your car in a luxury places, you charge more. Luxury shopping mall, you charge more. Hotel, you will charge more. This is definitely. So you need to pay eventually. You might be able to get the cheaper one, but however, you also need to pay. And this is not cost a lot, but you need to pay. Number 6, petrol. Petrol, we need petrol to make our car to move, to run, to start the engine and travel to the places that we want. So petrol, you need to pay petrol. It depends on how frequent you use the car. The more frequent you use, the more you need to pay for your petrol. Number 7, toll. Toll is a place where you only be charged if you use highway or you travel within states in your country. You'll be charged. And it also not expensive, however you be charged. You go to highway, you'll be charged maybe $2 or 2 ringgit, depending on your country. Depending on your country. So you might need to charge 2 ringgit or $2 to travel here to there. Yeah. Or if you go further, you may be charged 30 or 50 or 60 or 100. Number 8, engine oil. Yeah, engine oil. You need to make sure you check there's sufficient engine oil in your car. And you need to pay for the engine oil if insufficient. It's not expensive, but you still need to pay. Number 9, tire. Yes, tire, every time we need to change tire. It depends on the quality and how frequent you use the car. If better quality and you less frequent you use the car, maybe you do not need to change the car so frequent, so you do not pay for more in tire. If you use more and the quality of your tire is not so good, maybe you need to pay more in your tire, because you are replacing frequently. So this is number 9. Number 10 is car accessory. All of us, including myself, I will purchase car accessory. Depend on how many car accessory you want. For example, the headrest. Yes, most frequent I saw is headrest, car perfume, and more and more. And depend on what you like, what you want the car to be your, and also it depends on what car accessory you want to have in your car. For me, it's just the headrest. Yes. So this is 10 things that you need to know after acquiring a car. There will be more, but this is the basic one. You need to pay acquiring a car. So this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoy it. If you like and enjoy it, please share the video. And remember, subscribe to my channel. Bye.